My name is Travis Johnson, and I help run the education department within Rural One. I grew up in a single-parent household. My mom raised me mostly. I did have a relationship with my dad. I just didn't see him a lot. Both my mom and my dad were very hard workers and taught me the benefit of hard work. However, not really giving me their lessons on their own personal finance. So when I joined the military, I wasn't very smart with money. I spent a lot of my excess money on things like motorcycles and cars and just things that old teenagers do with money when they have too much of it. And once I got married, I started to become a saver because I thought, okay, we're gonna need to retire one day, we're gonna have children, I gotta save for college, things like that. My wife just saw money differently. She was more of a short-term minded person. And so I would wanna save money, but then that was not her goal. Her goal was like, hey, we have to do this for the house, or we have to buy a new car or something like that. And we just weren't on the same page. And I would try to institute a savings plan with my wife, and it caused tension because she didn't see what my goals were. And so it wasn't until we took a personal finance course ourselves where we both looked at like, her concerns are valid, and I need to see what her concerns are and make sure that we are accomplishing her goals, but also my concerns are valid as well. And we need to make sure that we do both of that. We monitor both sides, or we look at both sides of the finances, look at both short-term and long-term goals that we have. So I met Phil in 2012, I believe, and took the investment seminar there at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and started to go through some of the the education that they offered. And then later on, 2017, I was in a different position, and I was able to bring Phil in as a guest speaker for a military event that we did, and then our friendship just started kind of blossom after that. What stood out to me on the Rural One strategy was understanding what was going on. So when I first got into investing, I called the company that I had my IRA with, and I said, hey, I want to start doing things, and they would either tell me why they couldn't, why it wasn't a good idea, or some other excuse. When the 2008-2009 crash happened, I was investing in a certain fund with my financial advisor. Returns that other people were getting weren't the returns that I was getting, and I started asking why. And the answer he gave me was, well, we had to sell you this is our fund. If you would have asked for something else, I would have put you in that. But you called me, and I was like, are you kidding me? So I moved all my money out, I put it in a brokerage account, and I was like, all right, now I need to figure out what I need to do. And then right after that was when I met Phil and took the Rural One workshop. The best thing about the Rural One workshop and the Rural One strategy is understanding how things work, what rates of return really mean, how inflation impacts your retirement, like all of that, all of a sudden it gets unpacked for you and you actually understand what's going on with your portfolio. So since implementing the Rural One strategy, I have been able to take control of the investment side of my finances in a way that I think only people who understand Rural One value investing can. You understand not only the risks of what you're investing in, but then you also understand the risks of not doing it this way. Making a marginal rate of return that maybe meets the market or maybe not. It makes it very difficult unless you have a long time horizon and a fairly significant income to really get where you need to be. And with Rural One, it opens up the possibilities to retire with more stability and more financial freedom. So Phil and Melissa really felt there was a gap within Rural One education where the majority of the people come for investment education. However, what about the people who aren't there yet? What about the people who are burdened with maybe student loan debt or credit card debt, or don't specifically know what kinds of insurances are good? What kind of insurance do I need to protect my family from litigation or things like that? So we felt it was a gap, and we wanted to address that gap by offering a personal finance course. Doing personal finance the right way gives you freedom, and people don't think of it that way. People think of it that it restricts you. But the thing is if you think about you gonna go on a road trip, and you look at a map or you look at your GPS, it tells you which way to go to get there the most efficiently, right? You don't get mad at your GPS if it doesn't take you on these weird back roads. That's your plan. That's the most efficient way to get from point A to point B. A personal finance budget plan, capital allocation plan is the exact same. It's just a plan. It also gives you the freedom to spend money when you've earned it. So if you say, hey, I've just, every month or every what, I'm gonna spend $200 of my own money, you get to go spend that $200 guilt-free because I'm investing for my future. If you have kids, you're saving for your kids' college, you're doing all the other things in your plan that are important, but it gives you the freedom to purchase something, not have any guilt, enjoy your buy, and not have any remorse spending a couple $100s on something that you wanted. Sometimes people ask, like, who's this course for? And I think it really matters on doing some self-reflection on where you're at in your own personal situation. If you have conflict in your marriage over money where your spouse sees money differently than you, or there isn't like a cohesive plan on where you're going, this would be a great place to start. If you're burdened with debt and that's affecting your mental health, we have some great tips and techniques on how to get out of debt as quick as possible in a way it feels like you're winning. If you don't understand everything about insurance and you start having some stuff, maybe you have some money in a 401k, maybe you own a home and you're wondering what happens if I'm in an at-fault accident or something like that. We go over a lot of these different situations and these different personas on who can benefit from a class like this, but if you hearing this video, you think like this might be for me, what do you have to lose? You might as well take the course and see how much it can benefit you and figure out how Rule 1 style investing can change your life.